Conference wins are pretty awesome. Would you say so, Luke?
I would say so, in that matter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Sam Houston Sports Talk podcast. I'm Collin. That's Luke. You already know who it is. Sam Houston football coming out with a 31-11, victory over the New Mexico State Aggies to begin conference play. Soccer also began conference play against the Aggies. They won a stunning, really great match, 3-2. Volleyball went 1-1, and we'll also get to some women's and men's golf all right here, right now on your home for all the Bearkat talk, Sam Houston Sports Talk. And if you haven't already, be sure you subscribe today. We're at 132 at the moment. That number climbed up pretty good amount over the weekend, and our Twitter/X is becoming very active, and every weekend it seems like we gained quite a few followers, and we really appreciate that from all of you that have just followed us and just subscribed. Really greatly appreciated. Luke, let's go ahead and get started. Sam Houston Bearkats coming out on top 31-11, back-to-back wins. They have won 3 of their first 4 games of the season. They already matched their win total from 2023, and they began conference play on the right foot this past weekend. Passing game wasn't there, but the running game was just dominant all the way around, and we never really saw that kind of dominance out of the running game last year at all, if I remember correctly. Watson, of course, leading the way, a buck 15. Ducker had some good carries. DJ McKinney had some good carries. Then Watson went down, and then in an 18-point game, and I was like, why are you putting Bauer in the game when it's just an 18-point game? Like, we've seen crazy things happen before. It's not like you're up by 30 or whatsoever. But then, Luke, you said that they said that Watson was getting some medical attention on his throwing hand. It looked like when I looked back and watched the broadcast, he was clearly favoring that right hand, and it most likely came in that sack where he got sandwiched in between 2 Aggies. But then Bauer came in. He led some pretty successful drives, 2 scoring drives, a touchdown to Simeon Evans, a really great throw, a really much better catch from Simeon Evans, and then Pavon with a 46-yard field goal on the second drive. Overall, Luke, another dominating performance as well by the defense. Like we said, what was gonna happen. I think they did exactly what they needed to do, which was go out there and dominate like they should be, and they did.
Yeah, totally. You see the running game and kind of the way we played, Colin. It wasn't really the running backs as much as you think. It was the 2 quarterbacks that played, and the little that Bauer played. He ran the ball well, and Hunter Watson. A couple big explosive long ones. One resulted in a touchdown. Colin, that's what this running game can offer you when you can. You like 3 backs that we've seen. Mainly 3 backs run the ball pretty consistently. We've seen Noah Smith. We've seen Ife. Kind of on those jet sweeps. But when you're able to run the ball in the way that we have in the past few weeks, you gotta love to see kind of what we can do, and it's a combination of different styles, right? Ducker is kind of more of your I'd say a goal line back. He's more of a bruiser. DJ McKinney's a slasher, and then you have John Gentry that's been used pretty heavily in the passing game as well as running. So, um, seeing the way that we've been able to run the ball is very uplifting, and it's something that you're right. Last year, the past couple years, we've really struggled with sustaining drives, and throwing the ball 40, 50 times is fun, but a lot of times that just isn't it just doesn't work. And when you're able to run the ball the way that we have been able to, um, that only leads to success. The troubling part of it is the passing game, Colin, and you kind of talked about it. We just haven't been able to get it going. Um, I think in the manner that we've wanted to. I think against Rice and I think against last week in Hawaii, they were fine, but that's it. And this is probably the worst our passing game has looked all season. And there's much things that go into that, but it is concerning on that part. But yeah, dominating win.
Yeah, I mean, I am concerned, honestly, personally, with the passing game. I mean, you can run the football, as you can run we did get away with it this time because we ran the football well, and our defense just smothered New Mexico State's offense really well, and we'll get to more about their performance later. But I will say uh, Watson just threw two interceptions and two more interceptions where you're just kind of just like thinking, ugh, why'd you throw it like that? Like, why'd you throw it over there? And I just look back and it's like those interceptions could have been preventable. And the game could have easily led off with the pick six.
Yeah.
But it was dropped. There could have been another time where it could have been picked off, but it was dropped. And there's starting to seem a bit of a trend lately. And if Watson's hand injury, it seems like is hopefully not. Hopefully it's not. But if it is worse than they initially thought, it's gonna make throwing the football a lot harder. And obviously speaking, and it's just sometimes he tends to throw in double coverage. I mean, you could get away with that in junior college, but in the FBS level, you cannot get away with that as often as you think. Sometimes he can throw the football, and especially to guys like Ade, like just bomb it down the field. In my opinion, like Ade is one of the fastest guys in college football. He can outrun pretty much almost any cornerback. Let him go after it. Just trust that he'll beat the guy. Don't try to be too careful is what I'm saying. But at the same time, be careful because if you do want to try to go for that ball, you got to see where your safeties are. That's one of the first things you do as a quarterback. Where are the safeties at? I mean, I know I'm blabbering on, and I'm not any close to being a good of a quarterback ever. I still got 4 years though. I still got 4 years. So anyone out there is desperate, let me know. But I don't know. It's just something about the passing game is it's just kind of concerning, especially heading into next week against Texas State, where we're probably gonna have to be in a shootout with them in order to win the game.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean I'm right there with you, Colin. It just feels like now Hunter Watson he's done very well, and it's kind of like, well, look where we came from last year. You'll
Yeah.
definitely take where we are right now.
Oh yeah.
And for that, it's you kind of sound ungrateful in a way, but it's like, I mean, we have multiple games now where we're making very questionable throws. Um,
And
and
I'm
I don't
not.
want to put.
Yeah, I'm
Go
not.
ahead.
I mean no disrespect whatsoever. Like I couldn't go out there and do what he does. He's a tough competitor.
Yeah.
He's a hell of a runner. He's very athletic. It's just sometimes us as people that watch the game, we just can't help but analyze what we see. And
Yeah.
and Keeler's made a point saying that there is some things that Hunter needs to work on, which I think it's just making the right throwing decisions at this point. I think if he hashes those things out, then boom, we're good. But at the end of the day, I just can't help but analyze what I see and say what I see.
Yeah. It's just making your reads and going through your progressions.
Yep.
But of course, that separates NFL guys from, top college guys and top college guys to, middle or bottom level college guys. I mean, it's you know, many things, but that's one of the huge differences that you see um, at the difference between the Big 12 level and the SEC or the Conference USA and the ACC, right? I mean, there's just differences there, but um, the good thing is that what you've seen out of Bauer, at least, I think he's got a little bit better of an arm and maybe a little stronger, little more, down the field type guy. But Hunter Watson is such a good runner. I
Yeah.
mean,
Absolutely.
he has been explosive all year, and I mean, when we went down to 3-0 there at the beginning, the first couple of drives, I was scratching my head. I was like, "What? This doesn't look like our offense at all." I mean, we're throwing into a busted screen that should have been a pick six. We're throwing the ball way down the field when we haven't even. run the ball. I think we ran the ball once in our first 5 or 6 times. It's like what are we kind of doing here? And then they score that field goal, and okay, and then you're like, okay, well at least we held them there. And then bam, a huge run there from Hunter Watson, whatever it was,
46
60
yards.
something, 46-yard, yeah, touchdown. You're like, oh yeah, that's why he's our QB1.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he's taking the snaps. And I don't know if Bauer can give you that, but Watson can give you that, and that's what Keeler's talked about, Colin. I mean, that's what he's talked about, having that it factor. We know that's what Keeler looks for. That's the it factor, is the dual threat capability.
Mm-hmm.
The concerning part of that, though, is that while you have that, he only threw for 64 yards against New Mexico State. Now, New Mexico State, I think, has a pretty good defensive coordinator. We know who that defensive coordinator is, right? Joe Morris. We know they have some good players on the back end, but it's not just them, right? So I don't know. Worried about it. I'm not concerned like you. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, it's just something that I just been seeing. It's just something I've been kind of watching. Like, okay, is he gonna make the better? Is he gonna make the better reads? Is he gonna know when like it's okay to run? Because there is sometimes where I'm like, dang, nice. He can throw on the run really well. He's making the good decisions on zone read options, and that's what he made the really good decision on that 46-yard run. Was he has good instincts, and and again, I hate to say it again, but he is athletic, like freakishly. And for you would want a guy like that at quarterback. Hopefully the hand injury is not as serious as it is. Keeler did say that they could have thrown him back in there if they wanted to. They just didn't want him to take any more shots. Which I will say that he does need to learn that as well. He does need to know when like it's okay to like just tuck in, just take the hit as safely as possible. And he took that one big hit where he fumbled, but luckily John Gentry was there with the awareness to jump on it and immediately recover it and not give New Mexico State the ball back.
So, yeah, my question about the passing game is, you know, obviously New Mexico State ran a lot of too high safety looks, that we just kind of fell into a trap there and throw it into them. But the Quavis Humphreys, we didn't see him really at all.
No.
I mean, he was on the field,
Mm-hmm.
but we just didn't throw it to him. And we've kind of seen that from him when we're getting him the ball, it's huge explosive plays. When we don't, it's very, one catch or two catch for 20 yards, and that's kind of all you got. I mean, these other guys are good receivers, but he's your game breaker. You got to feel like you got to get him the ball more often. And I don't know if defenses are just saying, okay, we're taking him away from you and making you, other guys beat you, or something. We just got to get him, I feel like, a little bit more involved. Uh, whether that's putting him in motion more or, maybe just getting him, going early, few little motion routes, just underneath, something underneath just to get him going. And I know that's not the way you want to use him, but just to get him some volume. I mean, that guy is a huge playmaker. We just gotta get him the ball more.
Yeah, we'll see what happens against Texas State when it comes to the offense. But one thing I think we have going for us is that defense. And that defense showed out once again against New Mexico State, and it was without two of your starters. Isaiah Nixon was ruled out prior to the game. I saw he wasn't participating in warm-ups, especially with the edge rushers. Then I saw that he had a boot. He wore his jersey, but he had no pads. Was wearing sweatpants, boot. I was like, context clues. He ain't playing. So and then I tweeted that out, and I knew immediately that we were going to see a lot more of guys like Bryson Hayes, Kendrick DeJour, and you know how high I've been on Kendrick DeJour. I talk about him almost every time we talk about the defense, and he showed out. He had that one big hit on Santino Marucci that allowed that Isaiah Cash interception. he finally was able to make up for the 2 dropped interceptions he had last week, and got a pick of his own. He also had a couple of good pass breakups and good tackles on the open field. Caleb Weaver, again, another interception 2 weeks in a row. Just linebacking core performed really well. The corners played really well. Iman Allen performed really well again. I mean, I'd say one big major factor is that Matthew Aribasala went down, and he didn't come back into the game, so that's pretty big. So we got to see a lot of more of Dylan Frazier get a lot more snaps. Jaden Phillips, he had that big forced fumble that didn't get recovered, but still a sack fumble in the books. I mean, overall, Luke, again another A performance by the defense.
Gone. It really was. To hold New Mexico State to under 200 total yards in the entire game, less than 100 yards passing. That just tells you what kind of defense this is. And, we forced New Mexico State in a lot of bad situations. And you have the 2 guys in the back, taking the ball away from New Mexico State. Isaiah Cash and Caleb Weaver again, right? That just shows you how good this defense is. And to do it without Armstead back there, and Iman Allen played great. I mean, he really did. He showed up and played a great ball game. It's impressive, and it's I think we probably have the best defense in the Conference USA right now. I mean, I think we have the conference player or the defensive player of the year in Weaver, point blank. I don't know if anyone in our conference can take the ball away like this guy can and cover the way he can. And he comes in, helps in the run game. He's in the back end pass, in the pass game. He's just all over the field. The front did exceptionally well. We held Mexico State to just not much rushing. I mean, they averaged 2.8 yards a gain or a carry. Colin, that's not very good. I mean, it's just not.
And 2.6 passing yards per attempt. Like, it's pretty good.
I mean, what else could you want out of this team, right?
No, I mean, I will. You really like though the new guy from Liberty, Jalen Jermison though. You've been talking about him.
He's our nickel guy. He's a more physical corner. He's the nickel is kind of the you're not you're fast enough to be a corner, but you're a little bit bigger, a little bit more physical, that type of thing. Play him inside, and he helps everywhere, Colin. I mean, the same thing with Weaver. I mean, he's helping in the run game, exceptionally well, and the fronts played great. And in the how many quarters have we played in the G5, right? What is that? 3 games, right? So 12 quarters in G5 play. We have dominated 12 quarters.
Yeah.
Simple as that. And it starts with this defense, giving your offense opportunities, and we've cashed in on those.
Yeah. But the defense is going to be having its biggest test on Saturday against Texas State. We'll get more into that at the end of the podcast. Let's now go ahead and check out what else is going on around the world of Bearkat sports. First, for soccer, they began conference play of their own. It wasn't looking too good at first, to say. It was packed to Pritchett night. I don't remember what the attendance number is as I'm pulling up the box score right now. But
226.
Okay, that's actually, I don't know what they were trying to break the record. I don't know what the record was. There was no official announcement that was made or anything like that. But yeah, New Mexico State coming into town. The Bearkats scored 3 goals in the second half. They were down 2-1, then they scored 2 goals in a span of almost 3 minutes. There were 6 yellow cards. I mean, my goodness. Only 2 of them went towards Sam Houston's Andrea Nugent and Indigo Sims. Cadence Sanders got her first goal of the season, assisted by a great cross from Landry Townsend. Townsend then scored a goal via the penalty kick, and then Andre Nugent got her first goal of the season after Indigo Sims shot a ball on goal that was off the rebound, and just Nugent just put it away to win it for Sam Houston. I mean, we talked about it, Luke. They need to work on the goal scoring. I mean, what we mean by work on the goal scoring, like it's obvious, like yes, score more goals, you win the game, uh, but it's with soccer. There's much more to it than that. And well, they scored 3 goals in one half, and they also start conference play on a high note.
It's a huge win, Colin. Yeah, you're right. Starting off conference play, getting that first win in your first game, that's huge. Uh, Not just for the standings, but confidence. And 3 goals in the second half there is brilliant. I mean, it really is. And we were also behind in this game twice. We
Mm-hmm.
fell down 0-1 and then 1-2. And late game heroics there. A good decision there. Got the PK and then another one to seal the win. That's the difference between the okay teams and the great teams. In those last 10 minutes, uh, we were the much better team there, and we've been saying you got to buy stock on this team because all they're going to do is just get better and better throughout the year. Colin Landry Townsend's been our best player by far. I mean, it's not just scoring goals, but she's assisting. She's plays all over uh, in the forwards. She'll play up top, on the left and right. She's just kind of everywhere, Colin, and um, to have that type of game changer up there, that's huge. And the back line has held up. You let up 2 goals there, but to kind of bend and not break
Yeah.
and get the win there. That's a huge game. It's huge for confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's a great win also just to be in Huntsville.
Yeah. They will be taking on Jack State in a few days to begin to resume conference play. Let's see if they go. They grab another win over there. I think they're going. I think they're staying here in Huntsville. If I may be wrong, but either way, good win by the Bearkats to begin a conference play. Looking now back to the
Colin,
hardwood.
that's
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
in Jacksonville.
Oof, that's gonna be a tough one then.
That it's going to be it's 3 straight
Oh
away.
yeah, that is
Kennesaw
right.
and then La Tech.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh gosh. Oh,
Yeah,
that's a brutal.
brutal.
That's brutal. Yeah, that's a brutal road trip. Man, that's tough. But hopefully they can grab some good results either way. I'm sure that we've seen what Carvella's squad is capable of. We saw that Thursday night. I think they can be. I think they can do. They'll do. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fine. Brutal road trip, but I think they'll be fine.
What do you say is a successful run there? 2-1.
Shoot, if you just don't lose, like if you like draw wins and draws, I'll be fine with that. Either number of wins and draws. If you don't lose a game on the road on any of those games on that road trip, I think that I consider that a success. I mean,
Yeah, well,
you don't want to
yeah,
you don't want to draw, of course,
yeah.
but I feel but
What's the very minimum you would take?
I
1-0-2
one
or
one
1-1-1?
if I were to be realistic, I think we go 1-1-1.
Okay,
If I were to be realistic about it, but that's just me.
gotcha.
But
Yeah.
going to the hardwood now, volleyball had their final non-con matchups. First against Lamar, I was on the call for that game, and Luke, honestly that was a very good game. Like both sides battled, both sides just went at it, and it had to be decided by a fifth set. Just this time though, Lamar had the upper hand, and they went inside Johnson Coliseum for the first time in 18 years. And I believe, and the last time before this that the teams went to 5 sets was back in 2013. I believe the year was I was given in Beaumont, and Lamar won that game. Well, they went to 5 sets in Huntsville, and they won it, and they even hadn't won a set over the last 5 previous matchups beforehand. But Lamar is not the Lamar of those days. They have a new coach, Ariel Apolinario, really good coach. Talked to him a little bit after the match. They have some really good players as well. It's just the Bearcats couldn't capitalize on Lamar's mistakes. They did in the second set when Lamar had 6 or 7. I can't remember because there was so much service errors. It was ridiculous. It was crazy. And somehow Lamar won this game. The Bearcats did, however, come back the next day and beat Texas Southern very handily, 3-0. It was those sets were not close by any means. The Bearcats dominated throughout. Mackenzie Morvan, by the way, achieved career kill number 700 in the game versus Lamar. Chelsea Butler's been having she's been a really good addition. The freshman has been, along with others. Avery Fowler has been great. Hannah Baker's been great. But that Lamar game is going to be kind of hard to swallow, Luke. I feel like they should have went undefeated in the Bearcat Classic.
I mean, Colin, you were there. We were up two sets to one, right?
Yes, we were. I believe
Yeah,
we were.
that's tough.
Yeah, we were up 2
That's
sets to
tough.
1. Yep. Lamar won the first set 25-22. Then Sam Houston won 25-16 in the second set and 25-18 in the third set. To Lamar. Lamar came back and won 25-20 in the fourth set, then 15-11 in the fifth set. So yeah, like I said, it was just a great match. I will hand it to Lamar. Really great match. So,
It's I I kind of get it because coming from a tennis background, you play sets, right? You play best of 3 sets. Sometimes the pros, right? Very rarely. I mean, they only play the best of 5 in the majors, but it's kind of like in volleyball. It's one set you could absolutely crush them, and then the next set, you don't have it that time. I've played plenty of matches where, you win the first set 6-2, and then you lose the next set, 2-6, and you're like, well, what happened there? You won the first set so easily. You win those middle 2 sets, those sets 2 and 3, with pretty good conviction. I mean, 25-16 and 25-18. That's not what you say a blowout, but that's a pretty solid set win there. I mean, it's not that close, and
yeah.
just coming up short there in the fourth and fifth is tough, especially against Lamar. I mean, Lamar, they've kind of been the punching bag, of course, of college athletics in the Southland for a long time. They seem to have turned it around, but
I don't know, that
um,
men's basketball team looks pretty good.
yeah,
Led by Alvin Brooks, kind of a side
they
topic.
they've gotten better and better every year. So yeah, Alvin Brooks is a good coach.
So, but conference play for volleyball begins this Thursday and Friday. They will take on Middle Tennessee. Let's see if they can get off on the right foot as well when it comes to conference play. And because they only won one conference game last year, and they did not make the Conference USA tournament. We said that they can make it to the conference tournament this year, be a step up, but just gotta. It's just gonna be telling how, in my opinion, however they do against Middle Tennessee is gonna be the tone for the rest of the way. I mean, I don't know.
That's yeah.
I don't know if that's fair or not, but that's just kind of how I feel at this point.
Yeah, and it's also kind of a tough matchup, Colin. I mean, Middle Tennessee is, traditionally pretty good, right? So, um, yeah, it's expectations coming into the year was, just try to get into the tournament there,
Yes.
that the conference tournament, which, it's not necessarily the highest of compliments or highest of expectations, but you just kind of want to see some improvement. And I think after losing that Lamar one and then getting to kind of thrash up on Texas Southern, um, that helps for confidence maybe. But yeah, it's a different game once you get to conference season. It's tenser. Um, you got to play cleaner. You can't afford the amount of service errors that we've had. I mean, you talked about it, right? So yeah, it's
It's
just
tough.
make the conference tournament.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough, but let's see what they can do. Moving on to the Fairways, the sand, the water hazards, which is where I usually go to hit to whenever I play because I suck. But we all live for that one great shot. But these guys do it a lot more than we will ever do in our lives. Sam Houston men's and women's golf. Let's start off with men's golf. They had a really good start in the Cincinnati and not in Cincinnati at the Bearkat Invitational. But they dropped and they finished 12th out of 18th place. There were some good schools in that. But they had a good opportunity to finish top 10 or at least top 5 to begin the season. It just didn't end up that way. Gene, I don't want to butcher that last name because I never got a pronunciation for that. Chai Kingwall, I believe is how you pronounce it. I could be wrong though, but he was the best. He was the best out of the Bearkats. He firing rounds of 71, 71, 73, 17th overall at 2 above par. On the par 71 course, Hugo Trometer was next at 36 overall. Josh German finished 54th. Brett Gray finished 60th. Alex Malanya in 76. Despite him shooting a 69 in the opening round, which was the lowest round for any of the individual Bearcats. So, but it's just the beginning. Nothing to fret about. I think they'll be fine. But there's no broadcast. I can't go back and watch what happened. I can just only go by what the recap and what the videos say that golf posts online. So, but yeah, I think they'll be fine regardless.
Yeah, this program's been really good for plethora of years, right? And Brett Gray's been kind of your workhorse for the past few years, and just didn't have a great tournament. That happens.
Yeah.
Some weeks it's your week, some weeks it's not. I mean, you see that in professional golf, right? I mean, you got some guys that will, unless you're Scotty Scheffler, you'll win the tournament, and the next week, or 2 weeks you don't even make the cut, right? It just kind of happens that way. Yeah, and you're looking at the recap. We shot 297. That's way worse than any other team. We set a bad last day, and that happens.
Mm-hmm. So just like for me, I have good days and then I have bad days. But for golf, I have mostly bad days.
Mostly bad, yeah.
Yes.
Well, these guys are so good. These guys are so much better than like us.
Yeah,
that's not even funny.
That's what's crazy. Like people can look at professional golfers and be like, they suck. They can't even make a 10-foot putt. I could do that, and then then that same person goes out there and tries to make a 10-foot putt, and it takes them 3 tries.
Oh yeah, these college golfers are so good. I mean,
college golf has gotten much better over the years.
It's blown up. I think part of that is because of COVID. I think we're really gonna see like a huge rebirth of golf. I mean, it was huge. Then Tiger came along, and Tiger really blew up the popularity, and it was going crazy there. And
yeah,
I think with COVID, it kind of started to rekindle a little bit because it's that's one of the only sports you could go out and play, right? One of the only hobbies you could go out and do was go play some golf. I mean, I love golf, you love golf, but these guys are just really good at it, and we suck.
Exactly.
But that's why we're here and not there.
Yeah, exactly. But I do need to go I might go to the driving range right after this. Honestly, I'm kind of in the mood. I'm kind of in the mood to go swing a few balls, and I go swing. Try to first tell myself I'm gonna start off slow. I'm just gonna work on my chipping game, and then just whip out the driver and just go all out.
That's what it always starts out as. Oh man, I'm just gonna go work on my short game a little bit.
Nah.
10 swings later, you got the big stick out, and you're just trying to rip driver.
Yeah,
it happens.
It happens. For women's golf, like we said last week, they finished 2nd out of 13 teams at the Badger Invitational. They will be going next today. Actually, by the time we're recording this, they started the Bearkat Invitational at Huntsville in the Bearkat course. So far, I'm sure they're about to get done with their first day, but like to see them, not just finish in a good spot, but see if they can come out on top in a course that they're very familiar with.
Yeah, well, we're familiar with. I played the Bearkat course a bunch. I haven't played it since they just reopened though, because of the all the weather damage. I'm trying to pull up to see if they post anything on um,
Let's
social media or
see.
not.
Oh, no, never.
I don't know if they have.
I haven't seen it. Let's see. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
they haven't posted
Nothing.
anything. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll recap what happened on that and next week on the Sam Houston Sports Talk podcast. Now to end this off, just wanted to kind of just tease what we got ahead of us. We will be doing, of course, a preview podcast for Texas State against Texas State at NRG Stadium. I got a hashtag going, Luke, Luke and I just gotta say, pack NRG orange, baby. Let's
Pack
make
NRG.
pack NRG orange specifically. Let's get more orange than maroon in that building. I think with how the Bearkats though have been performing, they've won 3 of their first 4 games of the season. Won both their games at home so far. I think I think there'll be a really great crowd, especially since it's a afternoon game on a Saturday.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be kind of nice seeing us play in the afternoon. I know I always kind of moan about it being in the afternoon all the time. It's nice to have be on the evenings. But all the great college football games been going on. It's always been whenever Sam is playing, and it's like, oh man, I don't get to watch other games played. But um, this is also the first game that both of us will be there, present.
Yeah, we got press passes. We're locked and loaded. We're ready to go. Me and Luke will be there. We'll probably be going back and forth between the press box and the field, so you'll probably see us out there. But it's gonna be fun, and we're gonna get some good content and all that, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Not gonna get too much into Texas State here, of course. Y'all are just gonna have to wait for next time here on the Sam Houston Sports Talk podcast. Once again, that was Luke Scott. I'm Collin Neal. Once again, the Bearkats come out victorious against the New Mexico State Aggies to be in conference play. 31-11. Volleyball went 1-1. Soccer began conference play 3-2 victory over the Aggies. Men's golf began their season as well, and currently women's golf are doing their thing right now at the Bearkat course. So pack NRG orange, everybody, and hopefully things go our way this week that will lead to another Sam Houston victory. As always, eat 'em up, cats. Have a good rest of your Monday and week.
Eat them up.